Stop for a moment and listen carefully. This message is not here by accident. There is something extraordinary beginning to move in your life, even if you cannot see it yet. God has been working quietly in places you have never looked, arranging moments, preparing hearts, and opening doors long before you ever knew they existed. While others may see an ordinary day, heaven sees a turning point. The season you are stepping into is unlike the one you are leaving behind. You have spent enough nights wondering if your prayers were lost somewhere between earth and heaven. You have carried silent disappointments that few people understand. There were moments when you smiled in public while privately asking God if he still remembered the promises placed upon your heart. You continued walking when the road seemed empty. You kept believing when circumstances suggested otherwise. And through every difficult season, God never stopped writing your story. There is a beautiful truth found throughout Scripture. God often prepares blessings in secret before revealing them openly. Joseph did not know that his prison season was preparing him for a palace. Ruth could not see that her simple act of faithfulness would lead her toward unexpected favor. David spent years in obscurity before stepping into his purpose. God's timing has always been different from human expectations, but it has never been late. Today, I want you to understand something that may change the way you see your present circumstances. Someone with influence, wisdom, or resources is being positioned within your journey. Their arrival is not simply about material gain or worldly success. This divine connection carries purpose. God often answers prayers through people. Sometimes the miracle you've been waiting for doesn't arrive as a dramatic event, but as an unexpected conversation, an invitation, or an opportunity presented by another person. You may have convinced yourself that your best days are behind you because of previous disappointments. Perhaps doors closed that you thought would remain open forever. Perhaps opportunities slipped away despite your hardest efforts. Yet what felt like rejection may have been divine protection. What seemed like delay may have been preparation. God has never wasted a single moment of your life. The truth is, there were opportunities that arrived too early for you to carry. There were relationships that looked promising but would have distracted you from your calling. There were moments when God's silence was actually his mercy. Had certain prayers been answered immediately, they might have led you away from the greater purpose waiting ahead. Now, something is beginning to change. Heaven has a remarkable way of aligning circumstances at precisely the right moment. People cross paths at unexpected times. Doors that remained firmly shut for years suddenly begin to open without struggle. Conversations lead to possibilities that seemed impossible only weeks before. This is how God's favor often unfolds, not through chaos or confusion, but through peace and perfect timing. Do not underestimate the quiet seasons of your life. The waiting season was never punishment. It was preparation. God was strengthening your character, teaching you patience, and helping you develop the wisdom necessary for what is coming next. Every lesson mattered. Every tear mattered. Every prayer whispered during difficult nights was heard by the God who sees all things. Many people spend their lives chasing success while neglecting the condition of their hearts. Yet God's greatest blessings are never designed merely to improve your circumstances. They are meant to transform your life from the inside out. The opportunities he sends will not simply change what you possess, they will change who you become. The person who is approaching your journey may not immediately appear extraordinary. Their role in your story may begin quietly and naturally, but do not mistake simplicity for insignificance. God delights in using ordinary moments to accomplish extraordinary purposes. Perhaps they will offer encouragement when you are ready to give up. Perhaps they will recognize gifts within you that you have overlooked. Perhaps they will open a door that years of effort could not unlock. Whatever form this blessing takes, remember that God's fingerprints are often found upon the opportunities that bring both peace and purpose. There are people praying today for the very opportunities that God is preparing for you. That is not meant to create pride within your heart, but gratitude. Everything that God places into your hands carries responsibility. Blessings are never meant to stop with us. They are designed to flow through us and become a source of encouragement for others. Do not allow fear to convince you that you are unworthy of receiving God's goodness. Too many faithful hearts disqualify themselves from the blessings that heaven has already prepared. They remember their failures more clearly than God's promises. They focus on their limitations instead of His faithfulness. God has never asked you to be perfect before receiving His favor. He simply asks for a willing and humble heart. The next chapter of your life may look very different from the previous one. Opportunities that once seemed impossible may become reality. New relationships may bring unexpected joy and encouragement. Doors that remained closed despite years of effort may finally begin to open. The same God who guided you through seasons of uncertainty is guiding you now. Sometimes we imagine that divine favor must arrive dramatically. We expect loud announcements and immediate miracles. Yet some of God's greatest works begin quietly. They begin with one conversation, one opportunity, one person saying yes when everyone else said no. Never underestimate what God can accomplish through a single moment of divine alignment. You have survived seasons that should have broken your spirit. You have continued believing even when answers seemed delayed. And although you may not fully understand why certain chapters unfolded the way they did, one day you will look back and see that God's wisdom was present in every detail. There is peace that comes when you stop trying to control every outcome and begin trusting the one who sees tomorrow more clearly than you see today. God is not asking you to understand every detail of His plan. He is asking you to trust His character. The blessing approaching your life is not merely about receiving something valuable. It is about stepping into a season where your faith begins producing visible fruit. The seeds planted through patience, kindness, perseverance, and prayer are beginning to grow beneath the surface. What has remained hidden for so long will not remain hidden forever. Continue walking forward with humility. Continue treating others with kindness. Continue praying even when you cannot see immediate results. Heaven is never idle. God is always working behind the scenes in ways greater than human understanding can fully comprehend. And when the right moment arrives, you will realize that God never forgot your name, never ignored your prayers, and never abandoned your journey. Your waiting season was preparing you for your becoming season.